Good morning, students. Students, today we are revising chapter number 2, form of business organization. This is very lengthy chapter and it's very important. Students, this is one of the basic chapter of your business studies. You know, this chapter teaches you how to find out in the market that these businesses, these shops which we find, these shops are working under which form of business organization. Well, I simplify my statement. Well, sometimes we call that this person is doing the business in a partnership, okay, and he is running a company, he is working in Hindu undivided family business, this person is running a cooperative society, right? So we find these kind of example. So how do you identify, how do you find out the form of business organization? On what basis do you decide that this is a company, this is HUF, this is partnership or sole proprietorship, okay? So that is what we are going to discuss in this chapter, form of business organization, chapter number 2. Well, the first form of business organization, the simplest form is your sole proprietorship. Students, as its name is suggesting, sole proprietor, sole means single, proprietor means owner of that business. Here there is a single person who is doing the business according to its name. Now, what are the features? Feature explain the definition and everything about this. Features, or you can say the characteristics, and in Hindi we call it Visheshta, okay? Sole proprietorship की क्या विशेषताएं हैं? Features. The first one is formation and closure. Students, it's very easy to start this kind of business and very easy to shut it down, okay? Because it doesn't involve any legal formality. Whenever you want, you should have little money to start, depends upon its size and all, okay? So you can start it, and whenever you feel like to close it, you are not comfortable with the business, so you can close it at any time without any problem, right? So next feature is unlimited liability. You have to understand first ki what do you mean by the liability, okay? See, when you are running any business, any form of business organization, so the liability of business which arises from your credit purchase, or maybe you have taken loan from the bank or from somebody to run the business, so that is business liability, okay? So business liability must be paid from the business assets or business profit or the money which business has. But sometimes this happens that business is not having sufficient money to pay the liability, okay? So in that case, when the business assets is not sufficient, business assets and business money is not sufficient to pay the business liability. So the situation, in this situation, person has to use its personal property, and the situation, and in the form of business organizations where this happens, this is called unlimited liability. Means your liability is not confined to the business only, you know, your personal property is also at stake. You can use your personal property, you have to use your personal property to pay the business liability, okay? So in sole proprietorship we can say this is unlimited, okay? I'm sorry. Next one is one man control. Quite obvious, when single person is there to do everything, one man is handling the business, is starting and everything. So this is one man control, he will be the person to look after everything. Next is a sole risk bearer and profit recipient. So he is the sole risk bearer. The whole profit goes to the single person. If loss arises, that also goes to the single person. If any risk is there in the business, so this is the person who has to bear the risk, okay? So this is sole risk bearer and profit recipient. Next feature is no separate entity. Students, we have discussed in accountancy. Once again, keep this point in your mind. This is very important from both the subjects' point of view. We have 2 point of view. One is legal point of view and another one is accounting point of view. From the legal point of view, business and businessman, they are same, okay? Just keep it in your mind. Business and businessman both are same from legal point of view, and from accounting point of view, business and businessman both are separate. This we have discussed in the entity concept, alright. So here we have no separate entity. So if we talk about the proprietorship, business and businessman both are same, no separate entities there as we have in the company form of business organization. You find that in company we call it an artificial person, okay. So that is separate legal existence, your company, but here the sole proprietorship business is not considered at a separate entity. Business and businessman both are attached. Next we have lack of business continuity. Well, single person is there to look after everything. Mr. Ram is handling the business. Mr. Ram falls sick, okay, and he got a viral fever and he can't get out from the bed for complete 1 week. Now what happens of the business? Okay, so that is a problematic situation. God forbid sometime this happened, the person became lunatic, right, and expires, or anything wrong happened with the person, so nobody else is there to look after the business in that situation, okay. So we find lack of business continuity, means in these kind of situation business comes to an end, alright. So students, here we have discussed the features of sole proprietorship. Always remember, features means specialities. If we talk about Mr. Ram, Ram is very good boy, he is very intelligent boy, he is disciplined, right, he obeys the teachers and parents, he always wishes them, but he is sluggish, he doesn't complete homework, right in time. So these all things I have told about Mr. Ram, means features of Mr. Ram. Now you will find these features are containing some good points, some bad points, means some merits, some demerits are there. So you will always find in all these points, in business studies we have these things, always you will find the features, merits and demerits of these topics. So merits and demerits always comes from the features, okay. So let's find out the feature, merits and demerits from the features. If I talk about the merits of the sole proprietor, so the first one is formation and closure. That's very easy to start, and if one is inconvenient with the business and the business is not getting on well, so we can shut it down, we can disclose, close the business at any time, okay. No such formality, so it's easy for that person. Well, next merit we are talking about one man control. The single person is having the control, okay. Nobody else is there to interfere in your matter, and you don't have to be dependent on somebody else for the discussion, for the decision. Quick decisions can be there. The next merit, quick decisions can be there within no time, without wasting the time. And well, we can take one merit from this point, profit recipient. He is the single person to enjoy the whole profit. Later on you will find in partnership we have to divide this profit between the partners. So here he is enjoying the whole profit, okay. And these were the merits, fine, and so many other merits you can have when you do practically business. You will find you are enjoying some benefits of that. One more can be there, the direct relationship between the efforts and incentive, means whatever you are doing, the efforts you are putting up, you are enjoying the profit, right. As you do the hard work, you are getting the return of that, right. Nobody else is there to share that, so this is also one of the merits. Let's talk about the demerits now. Well, this is the first demerit. The biggest drawback of this is unlimited liability. When any problem arises in that situation, you are only the person who has to bear the whole risk, the whole liability, okay. So your personal property is at stake, you are not safe at all, okay. Next we have, next drawback you can say, we can find out from here. In the merits we have taken the profit wala point, and in drawbacks we can take the loss. If loss is there, so if it comparatively, if I talk in partnership, there is Mr. Shyam to share with Ram, okay, but here Mr. Ram is alone in the sole proprietorship. He has to bear the whole risk and losses, alright. Now lack of business continuity, this is also one of the drawback. Well, nobody else is there to take care of the business in the absence of the single proprietor, or you can say Mr. Ram's absence, okay. So nobody else is there to take care. And one more drawback, as he is a single person and he is not discussing with anyone, we have discussed in the merits, he is the person who is deciding everything himself. So what is the drawback? The drawback is maybe he is wrong, his decision is wrong because he is not having the knowledge of everything. Okay, he can be wrong at his point, so nobody else is there to suggest him to correct his mistake. So this is the drawback also. All right, students. So these we have discussed the features of sole proprietorship, merits and demerits we have taken out from here only. Well, next is our HUF. HUF stands for Hindu Undivided Family Business. Okay. So let me tell you certain things about HUF before we proceed with the features, merits and limitations. HUF, Hindu Undivided Family Business. Okay. Although for the sole proprietorship there is no such act, no law is there, but for HUF we have Hindu Succession Act 1956. Means all the rule regulations are guided by Hindu Succession Act. Fine. Now we have two systems prevailing in HUF. One is Mitakshara and another one is Dayabhaga. Mitakshara, the system of HUF, is prevailing in the whole country except West Bengal. Okay. What happens in this? In Mitakshara, all the male members can be the participants. Only the male members can be the co-partner in HUF, not the female members. All right. But in another one, that is Dayabhaga, this prevails only in West Bengal. And what's the speciality? Here the females, male as well as females, can be the co-partner in the business. Co-partner word I am using for the members. Okay, jitne bhi members hote hain, we call them co-partners. All right. Well, so this is conducted by Hindu Succession Act 1956. Mitakshara and Dayabhaga, two systems are there. So in our state we have Mitakshara. All right. Now we will talk about the features. Okay, one more thing, students, how this has been established, what we require, what are the requirements, how one can form Hindu undivided family, what we need. So we need two male members in any family and some ancestral property. Some ancestral property means your forefathers property, आपके पूर्वजों की, घर में जो बड़े लोग हैं पहले, उनकी कुछ property होनी चाहिए, including, and two male members are there. They can start this business HUF. It means minimum number of people we require to form HUF is 2, and maximum there is no such limited. That depends upon the male member of the family. All right. So let's proceed with the features now. I hope the basics are clear of HUF. Features, we have the formation. Formation, recently I have talked to you about it. Formation means minimum 2 male members and some ancestral property is required to form HUF. Minimum 2 members, maximum there is no limit, that is up to number of male members. All right. Second is your continuity. Students, continuity is one of the feature, as we have talked in the sole proprietor. Here we don't have this problem, you know. If anything wrong happened with anyone, so many members are there, they can handle the business. And here I tell one thing, students, one important thing, karta. In Hindi we generally say na ki ghar ka karta dharta kaun hai. Karta dharta means a person, main member of the family who takes care of everything, decide everything, controls everything, take important decisions. All right. So that person is called karta dharta in the Hindu families, and here we are talking about Hindu undivided family business. Here the karta is the senior most member of the family who is looking after the business. He is having the whole controlling authority in his hand. He is deciding everything. Although he can discuss with other members, he can take advice from them, they can give the advice, but the final decision will be taken by karta. All right. And the liability of the karta will be unlimited, and rest of the co-partners, they have limited liability. All right. So I have told about the karta. Now we were talking about the continuity. Well, students, if any of the partner expires or anything wrong happened with any one of the partners or not partners, co-partners, so there is no such problem, because it's not going to affect the number of the HUF, right? Minimum number will exist over there. And if we talk about karta, if karta expires, then next elder member of the family becomes a karta. Okay. So there is we find the continuity in this HUF. Okay. Next we have liabilities. Students, recently I have told you a few moments back, we have categorized the liability in two parts. The first one, the liability of Karta, and another one, liability of other co-partners. Okay. So the liability of Karta is always unlimited because he is looking after everything. If any burden comes, problem comes, so he will be held liable for all these things. Okay. And rest of the co-partners, they have limited liability. Fine. I think it's clear what am I talking about. Liability means your business assets are sufficient to pay the business liability or they are not sufficient to pay the business liability. All right. Next we have control. Who controls this HUF? I have told you, Karta is the person who controls the business and he decides everything, he takes all the decision. Next is minor member. That's very important, students. Generally minor members, they can't enter in any contract according to the Contract Act 1872 something. So but the interesting fact is here, minor can be a co-partner. As I have told you, how the co-partners, I mean HUF में किस तरह से numbering होता है, with the birth of any male member, right? The male member joins the family business. He has a right by birth. Okay. As the male member takes birth in the family, automatically that person will be the co-partner in HUF, right? Automatically वो member बन जाता है. So minor member can be a co-partner in HUF. There is no problem. Law doesn't say anything about it, right, students? So out of the features, we have so many merits and limitations are there. So let's talk about those one. So first we are talking about the merits. Well, it's easy to form and disclose. Once again, like your sole proprietorship, formation and closure is very easy. So this is also very easy to form and dissolve that. Okay. Now you must be thinking, how is it possible? Just before I have told you that sole proprietor is very easy to form and dissolve. Okay. And now I am telling about this. Then what is this? I tell you. Here we have the comparative studies between all these form of business organization. Okay. Here we are comparing it with the form of company form of business organization, and you will study that that's very complicated procedure to form a company. So here they are comparing with the company. Okay. So if we compare it with sole proprietor, then so this is difficult. It needs certain formalities. Okay. Takes a little time, but here we are comparing with company, so we can say it's very, very easy, no problem. Okay. Next is continuity. As we have discussed here in the features, it is the process is continuous, and the HUF is will be continuing on all the situation. If any problem arises or any problem comes on the Karta or anybody else, your firm will be continuing. Next we have limited liability. See, here we have talk about the liability, right? Karta and other co-partners. So we can take one part in the merits and another part in the demerits. If I talk about the Karta, so what I have talked about the Karta, the liability of Karta is unlimited. Okay, so that I can take in the limitations, unlimited liability. That's a drawback because Karta's personal property is at stake. All right. But if I talk about the another part of this liability, means other co-partners, so their liability was limited. That means that was confined to their business assets only. उनका जितना business में share था वही use किया जा सकता है problem के time या liability pay करने के time, उनकी personal property को use नहीं करेंगे. So that is the merit in that case. All right. Students, next we have increased loyalty and cooperation. Here you have a sense of cooperation between everyone. We know that this is our business, this is our family business, and there are certain other people in the market, right? So we are competing with those one. If I will be working single, so that will be difficult for me to compete with those people, you know. So I have this sense that I will be cooperating with my family members, with my, the co-partners of my Hindu undivided family business, okay. So increased loyalty and cooperation. So the loyalty increase, okay, they are loyal to each other because everyone is working for the same motive, same family, same business, all right. And of course they are cooperating each other, all right. Next we have effective control. Students, when the control lies in the different hand, later on you will study in the partnership. so many people are there and they all have a control over the business, right, and they impose their intentions, their decisions and all, so that becomes very complicated and difficult. But here we don't have this problem because we have appointed one person who will look after everything, and that is Mr. Karta. All right. So effective control is there, and I have told you that there is no problem in the discussion. He can take help of other co-partners, and even other co-partners, if they feel like to suggest this person, they can give the suggestion, they can give the advice. Fine. So here we have completed the merits of HUF. Now we will talk about the limitations. Always there are pros and cons of everything. Some merits are there, so you will not find even a single thing where there is no drawback of anything. Okay. So the first one is limited capital. Students, here it's very important to quote because you find that number of co-partners in the HUF is increasing year after year. Okay, the new children, they are taking birth in the family, and we find that the co-partners are increasing. But if the same thing happen in the partnership, when the number of partners are increasing, please be attentive. Okay, when the number of partners are increasing, so they bring their capital. Okay, when we have more number of partners, so we have more capital, right? But this doesn't happen in HUF. When a new co-partner is taking birth in the family or number is increasing, that fellow is not bringing capital with him. Even he is sharing the same capital, the same property, whatever is earned by the HUF, or we have the ancestral's property, so we will be participating in that only. Okay. So with the passage of time, we find sometime that we have limited capital. Always we are in the crisis of the capital ki kami hai. Okay, this happens here. Well, next we have already discussed unlimited liability. Here the rest, Karta is having unlimited liability here. So his personal property is at stake, so that's the risky one. Next we have limited managerial ability. Students, I have told this many times that single person is not perfect in everything. Okay, he may have talented in few things, right? He may have some good technique and some skills are there, but we don't find a person who is perfect in everything. Fine. We have so many people, I mean so many co-partners are there, but still you will find they are just for the namesake, and we find that the people are not very efficient in everything, and some managerial abilities are not persisting in these people, in the Karta and rest of the co-partners. Okay. So we always find the management is lacking somewhere in Hindu undivided family, because they believe in themselves, right? They believe themselves that we can handle the business, we will be handling our business ourselves. Okay, but if you find rest of the people, they have hired the managers, they have hired the professionals, the people who have acquired the MBA degrees and all that, so they are performing better. So always they face problem in this field. Well, next negative point we have, that is dominance of Karta. Dominance of Karta. It's a human nature, students. A person who get a power, they try to rule on others, you know. So the same thing happened with Mr. Ram, Karta, you know, he's having the power, so he started dictating everyone. Okay, dictating, and somewhere he dominate everyone, and instead of taking the advice, he started forcing, imposing the decisions. Okay, this is my decision, and rest of the members are telling that you're doing something wrong, that's not right in the situation, but he doesn't listen. He says, I'm the Karta and I'm right, and you have to follow this, because I'm the person who is having the power to decide the thing, I'm the controlling authority. So these kind of things takes place sometime, not always, but sometimes this takes place. Okay, so dominance of Karta creates problem, and no match in work or reward. This is dark pitch, Kalyug hai. And students, you must be having an experience in your families. Okay, the Karta, the person who is responsible for everything, and his liability is also unlimited. That is also the reason that he has to work day and night. So when the person is working like anything, he is working extremely and more than anybody else in the HUF business, but he is not getting any other reward, he is not getting anything extra. Even the person who didn't join the business, or the person who are staying at home, and the people who are the co-partners who are not regular not working hard, he is getting equally to those one. So somewhere he get a feeling that why should I do this much hard work when I don't have a direct reward. Direct reward means whatever efforts you are putting, you are getting the reward. जितना आप hard work करते हैं, you get the reward of that, right? जितना time devote करते हैं वो सारा profit आपको जाता है. But this doesn't happen in HUF. Okay, the karta or a few members, they are working hard, they are earning profit, and the profit is enjoyed by all the co-partners. So somewhere this problem also arises in HUF. Fine, students. So here we have completed this Hindu undivided family business. We have talked about the features, merits and demerits. Okay. Now we will talk about basics of the partnership. Students, partnership, as its name is suggesting, partnership, मिल के काम करना. So minimum 2 people will be there. Okay. So partnership, you will find the minimum 2 people and maximum 50 people are there. Earlier the number of maximum partner was something else, but now it has changed. So the maximum number of partners is 50. So let's talk about the features. Although its formation is very easy, when 2 or more people, they join the hand and they start working together for the same objective, same motive. So that becomes partnership. And this is formed under Partnership Act 1932. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit more before going ahead. This is registered under Partnership Act 1932. I tell you students, registration of partnership firm is not at all compulsory. Okay. This is optional, but it is always advisable to get your partnership firm registered under Partnership Act 1932 because it's having so many benefits, you know. If you got your firm registered and tomorrow any problem arises, so you can sue. You have a problem with somebody else, so you can sue that person, you can sue that another firm, you can file a case against that firm, right? You can file a case against the another member of your partnership firm. ठीक है, Ram and Shyam are the partner. So Ram have a problem with Mr. Shyam. तो Mr. Ram Shyam पे केस कर सकते हैं, Mr. Shyam Ram पे कर सकते हैं, आप किसी दूसरे पे कर सकते हैं, कोई दूसरा आप पे कर सकता है. Okay. So you have a safety of law, right? You can avail the facility of the law if you got your firm registered. If you don't get it registered, so you don't have this facility, you can't sue anybody and nobody else can sue you. Alright, so you will be handling your problems yourself. Law cannot help you. And second thing, how the partnership takes place. It takes place through the agreement. Agreement is necessary, students. Without agreement you can't do anything. Agreement means when 2 or more people, they get together and they decide on some particular events, you know, on some particular facts कि हम ये करेंगे या नहीं करेंगे. Some do's and don'ts are there, some rule regulations are there. Okay. So what they have to do, they can do the agreement oral or that can be written also. Means this much capital we will be introducing and this is my address and I'll be getting salary because I'll be working extra, so I'll be getting extra salary, I'll be getting commission, I won't get interest on capital is allowed, not allowed. All these things we will mention in the agreement. Means there should not be any conflict, and if any conflict arises you can refer the partnership agreement. So you can check either this point is given in the agreement or no. If it is given, you can go ahead. If it is not given, then fine. Okay. So students, that is the base of the partnership. Agreement is must. Now agreement can be oral, it can be written also. What happens with the oral? It's not advisable. Of course you can have the oral, but don't go for the oral agreement because there is no proof of that. I have talked about 1 lakh salary with my partner. My partner says ki no, we didn't decide that. What is the proof? Where is it written? So I don't have any proof. Okay. So it's always advisable to have the agreement in writing. Okay. Now when the agreement takes place in the written form, that becomes your partnership deed. Okay. So we say ki partnership deed is the base of your partnership. Okay. Deed is the same thing, agreement, but when we write all the points of agreement, that becomes your partnership deed. Fine. Now let's start with the features. Features is formation. Its formation is also very easy. You will find it's given in the book. That formation of partnership is also very easy. Once again I'm telling you, we are comparing with company form. Next it is talking about the liability. Liability of the partners jointly and individually. Well, liability of the partnership is unlimited, students. Okay. In the sole proprietor, it was unlimited. In the HUF, karta, unlimited. And in partnership, all the partners have unlimited liability. Okay. Only remaining co-partners, they have a limited liability, right? Jointly and individually. If 3 partners are there, so jointly they are responsible to pay the liability of the partnership firm. To the outsiders they have to pay. Okay. But suppose due to some reason Mr. Mohan is not liable to pay right now. Ram, Shyam and Mohan, 3 partners were there. Okay. Ram and Shyam, they have money and Mohan is not having money. So now Mr. Ram and Shyam will be paying to the outsiders. Even they will be paying the liability of Mohan also, because individually and jointly they will be liable to pay the liability of the firm. Alright, but they have a right to recover this amount from Mr. Mohan later on. Okay, बाद में वो मोहन से ले सकते हैं. Next we have risk bearing. All the partners, they are participating their profits, losses and risks. So everyone will be sharing the risk. And they will have the profit sharing ratio, students. It's not that equally they will be sharing. In the partnership agreement and later on it is deed. Partnership deed में mention होगा कि किस ratio में वो divide करेंगे. Either this is equally or any other ratio has been decided by them. So in that ratio they will bear the risk. Okay. Next is decision making and control. Decision making and control is also with all the partners. They decide it well in advance that who is going to take care, who is going to control. We have some sleeping and dormant partner. Later on you will study that they are not coming to the business for the work, they are just staying at home, resting all the time. So decision making and control is in the hand of the active partner. Although all the partners, they are free to decide the thing, they have a right to participate in the decision making of the partnership firm and they have a right to control also. Next is continuity. Here also we don't have continuity. Now your question can be there, ma'am, there are so many people, if something wrong happened with one person, so remaining can handle. Okay, maximum we can have till 50. But what happens, students, just understand it from legal point of view. We have 5 partners, A, B, C, D, Mr. D expires. Okay, now the agreement, the partnership deed which was between these, which was among these 5 people, okay, this partnership deed was, it was among these 5 people, that has to be cancelled because now the deed is not available. So that deed will be cancelled and they have to form a new deed. So we say it is not continuous, okay, its continuity is not much. So this also the business partnership dissolves with the death or insanity or lunacy with any of the partner, or if some became insolvent, then also this discontinues. All right. Next we have membership. Number of members we have already discussed, minimum 2 and maximum 50. Then mutual agency. Mutual agency means they are working for each other. See, if one is sitting on the counter, shop hai aapki, you are sitting at the counter, rest of the partners, they are somewhere else in the field. One has gone to the bank, another one has gone to the market, okay. So you are representing everyone, alright. So here you are working as a principal, aap ek principal because you are the owner of this business, and for rest of the partners you are working as an agent, aap unke agent bhi hain, and those people who are representing in the market, they are doing the work in the market, so they are representing you also over there, okay. So they are working as an agent of yours, कि वो आपको भी whatever they will do, you will be binded for that, okay, and whatever you will be doing here, they will be bounded for that. तो आप एक दूसरे के काम के लिए बाउंड होंगे, जो भी किया है that will be acceptable by everyone, fine. So here we have completed the feature, students, and we can have the merits and demerits from these only. I tell you in brief. Here the merits means the risk is shared by them, the loss is shared by them, the whole responsibility doesn't come on the single head, and they are helping each other in the decision making, okay, and they can have more capital comparatively to rest of these. And in the drawbacks we can say the liability is unlimited and lack of continuity is there, right. And if we compare with company form of business organization, you will find here also when you want to expand your business, you know, when you are satisfied, then fine. If you want to expand your business, you need more capital, so you have a limit there is whatever the amount you are getting, there is a ceiling, there is a limit of that कि maximum 50 people and these every individual has also limit to bring the money. तो आप बड़े level पे काम करना चाहते हैं तो partnership doesn't work. Okay, so that's also one of the drawback. I hope it's sufficient for today's students. So just go through all the topics of this chapter. If you have any doubt, we will discuss in the doubt class. Thank you.